My name is Izak Minnaar. I work for SABC News. I'm the editor of SABC Digital News. I'm also on the South African Press Council, specifically representing the interest of online media. I'm with the IAB and I'm a member of the South African National Editors Forum. So let's talk for a moment about ways in which the editors can communicate better, get their message over. I think the first thing is really a very active Twitter account where the activities and views and comments, if necessary, on the daily events that the editors may want to comment on, where you want to quickly share it with, and then obviously get the various media organizations and others to retweet it. I think in terms of Facebook, one should really consider carefully on whether that is a good option or not. I'm saying so because it can be, if it's done right, it is quite, it takes a lot of time, because you need to be able to engage on Facebook and need to make sure that it is not just a place to post things and you don't attend to people commenting. So if you want to do a Facebook page, you need to be able to, on a daily basis, update it and make sure that you engage with people around. On the stance that editors should take, in my view, I think often in the media we make the mistake when we argue for media freedom to do just that, to say we promote media freedom, but in actual fact what we do is freedom of expression for the public as a whole, so that the stance from which we communicate should not be this is what the media says or so, but it should rather be what is in the public interest, and freedom of expression is in the public interest. Moving on to elections, I think it's important to make sure that editors work on a broad framework within which the free media will operate. So what I'm talking about is a code of conduct, and one document that one can refer to for this is the SADC election coverage guidelines, compiled I think around 5 years ago under the leadership of MISA Southern Africa. Another good example to follow is the electoral code of conduct done by the Kenyan media before the previous 5 years ago Kenyan elections, where they held workshops with a range of stakeholders to come to an agreement on what the role of the Kenyan media should be in the election. So I think the first thing is to try and make sure that there is a publicly well consulted document that the media can subscribe to, if there is not already something like that, but that will commit the media to certain principles of conduct, but on the other hand also outline the media responsibilities regarding free and fair and balanced election coverage. Once that is done, I think the editors' organization should play a key role in interacting with all the different media organizations to firstly abide by the code, but also to do things like negotiating with the electoral body on access to information in the run-up to the elections and during the elections and the results announcement. To interact with other government bodies that may be involved in the elections, from security forces through to anybody who may need to grant access to journalists maybe the Department of Justice, depending on the exact roles of these different bodies in the elections. It's also a good idea to approach the electoral body as a group of editors about exactly the terms of reference and the framework within which results coverage specifically will need to happen. To understand what will be supplied to the media, when will it be supplied to the media, what is the status of the results, and to try and get to get them to understand how the media can help them to do their duty of making the election results available. The last thing that I think the editors' body should look at is to coordinate in some or other way a training effort. So, and I'm not now talking only about the electoral code. I'm talking about, I think it's often useful to remind reporters and assignment editors and new and copy editors and so on of special duties around election and how they should go out of their way, also in terms of elections regulations and so on, to go out of their way to make sure that they plan their coverage, that they make sure that they provide equitable coverage to the different political parties, and very importantly that they make sure that they actually represent the needs of citizens in election coverage, instead of just following the parties around and reporting on leadership battles. Because in the end, the election is actually about services that political parties who win the election can provide to the public, and it should not actually be just about those political parties.
For these and other stories, visit our website www.263chat.com. Follow us on Twitter @263chat and like our Facebook page 263chat.